So, anyone got issues about nighttime economy other than the stuff that we've already discussed?
Yeah, our lights are on 24/7 in the atrium. So we've had environmental health out, and they said it's not a nuisance, but it is because it's too bright at night. It's costing us money because it's on 24/7. The management company said we're not going to do anything about it, but they had the same problem in the Block 1, and they admitted it was a design fault, made all the changes, but they won't do it in Block 2.
But they don't think it's a nuisance?
Who, the management company?
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
they don't see the cost of having all that lighting. The lux levels are too high, the lighting, the costs, they're on 24/7. You can imagine in the summer, 8 till 8, say for example, we've got a huge atrium, we've got all these lights on, we've got 9, 10 floors.
Well, it may be that you're able to look at threatening them with going to the tribunal that your service charge cost dealing with electricity costs for lighting is not reasonable, and they would have to justify doing what they're doing. But again, you probably should tell them that's what you're thinking of, and maybe they need to reconsider. If you were going down the nuisance route, you'd need to have a number of people coming forward to say that the lighting is causing a nuisance because we can't sleep, those sort of issues. So that could be another route that you might want to look at.
Well, it is also, we think that's what induces the noise late early morning, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning when people come back from town, because the lights are so bright. Obviously, they've been drinking whatever, they forget that it's actually night time. Yeah. Because you walk in, it's like daylight. So a lot of people do believe that if the lights were at a reasonable level, also they would respect that there are people sleeping and keep them from using.
What happens if you ever take a case through to a tribunal is that the tribunal members actually come and visit your property. They normally do it on the morning of the hearing, but because they want to get a real feel for the issues involved, and they always have a tour around and sort of see what the issues are that people are complaining about.
They're hoping on mediator.
They go the night before.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they do that now. In my experience, they've always gone first thing in the morning before the tribunal actually start.
Can I just say that one of the reasons for this, it's interesting that there's very little issues now.
Yeah.
There was a time when the nighttime economy was one of our major issues because of the inability of the city council to seriously listen and take on board the concerns of residents who'd bought properties, particularly in the Rope Walks area, where there were bars and nightclubs and restaurants underneath their property without sufficient insulation to mitigate the noise coming through, or the noise coming through their windows, particularly in the summertime. Now that has gradually over the years been improved, and we've developed some very good relationships with particular bar owners where there's issues, and we've found that again, dealing with things face to face has actually brought about some of the improvements that we wanted. But the whole process revealed a much bigger concern, which is a concern that the buildings were not designed, and the simple issues like triple glazing that would have stopped this, or a very appropriate noise reduction mechanism between the nightclub and the apartments above. If that had been insisted on, there would be no trouble at all. And in some cases it was insisted on, but never policed. So that in fact, people thought that's what, the planning department thought that's what they'd insisted upon, but because nobody went out to make sure it had actually been delivered, it wasn't delivered. So you learn all kinds of stuff in this business, but that just gives me a chance to make a quick advert, because we've got 2 events coming off in the next month. One is on Monday, which is a consultation process on planning, how people discover what planning issues are around and how we can improve it. And you have to register through the Engage website, through Eventbrite, but that's this coming Monday, which is a really important piece of work for national government, and Engage is the consultee process. And then in March, we have a planning meeting to look at how we can improve these very issues for the city centre going forward. And that's with the planning department at the end of March. So I just encourage you to come and take part in some of this work.
So again, the key thing is look at breach of terms of the lease if there's any sort of nighttime issues, because that's always the most important thing. Is to the lease is your tool, your legal tool of what you can action you can take. And again, multi-agency approach. It's the same points through any sort of issues that you have for anything to do with breaches of terms of the lease. Really, have you got anything you want to add, David?
I must say I haven't really. It's not as affected by the nighttime economy as it's just not an issue in the main as perhaps it was a few years ago. So nothing to add there.
You nearly had an issue at Albert Dock with the daytime economy and the fish and chip shop.
Yes, yeah. But, yeah, daytime is all right.
Is that to do with the smells of the fish shop?
Yeah.
Can I speak to you after about that?
Yeah,
Were you
absolutely.
involved in that argument? We've got the same issue with Brasco's in our block.